All right, it says I'm live, so I think I am. Greetings, everyone. I am Coach D, Deloria Nelson Street, President of Authentic Culture and Engagement Solutions, and CRO, which is Chief Rest Officer. Hey, I am a cat napper. I can take a nap just about anywhere, but I really wanted to spend some time to talk about something that is really serious. And that is rest, right? I'm humbled. I'm excited to hold space with you guys for a few minutes to talk about something that has transformed my life, the lives of others, and I know it will help us to be the best that we can be. And that is rest. It's the 3R personal success recipe: rest, resilience, and resistance. When I talk about rest, I mean reclaiming energy, self confidence, and time. Because when we are tired, we are robbed of that. I don't know that many self confident people that are exhausted. And so we have to reclaim that. And rest is the only way that happens. Now, I recognize that tired is different. All tired is not physical tired. I make a joke in my book that my husband, who is this a beautiful Caribbean man who works a million jobs, when he says he's tired, he's physically tired. Most of the time for me, when I'm tired, it's mental tired or emotional tired. For those introverts out there, sometimes it is social tired, like hashtag I can't people anymore. Different types of tired requires different types of rest, but that's something that we will get into during the masterclass. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. I'm going to talk for a few minutes and then we'll shift into conversation. I don't know if it's a song. Oh, yeah, the boots on the ground. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I'm here for a short time, not a long time, if I can quote Fantasia. So, who you are and why this matters. It matters more than anything. And I will tell you, with my almost 30 years in HR and leadership, I've watched people carry everything. They carry the work, they carry their family, the expectations, and all these invisible loads. And they may be invisible to other people, but we feel it. I often do a exercise with people like you're walking around with a backpack full of bricks. And I tell people, name those bricks and unload those because we're not supposed to carry all that. And that was me as a woman leader. I was a single mom for a while, 4 kids, different drop offs, a son with special needs. People like to talk about the 5 to 9 after the 9 to 5. I can talk about the 5 to 9 before the 9 to 5. I frankly will get to work tired, but I had to wear the mask of, and I'll tell you a funny story or a secret. One of the ways you can get a little rest is take your families to the movie. Now, I'm being a little silly, but I would take my kids to the movie and I would sleep. I would try to play it off. And they would, Mom, I said, oh, yeah, 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 I saw what happened. But that was perfect because it got them out of the house. They wanted to watch a movie and I wanted to sleep. But the reality is rest isn't optional. Our body needs rest. It regenerates cells. It helps us come up with creative ideas. I know for me, if I'm rested, I'm going on all cylinders. And that's the same for all of us. When we're rested, we can come up with innovative ideas. Rest definitely impacts our decision making. We can make better decisions, but we talk about it, but we don't get a lot of it. And all of this kind of emanated. I think last year, the end of the year, everybody said we were going to rest. And I thought, sounds good, but people of women in particular, women of color even more so, really don't know how to rest. We've been groomed to work, work, work. We've heard the trope that we have to work twice as hard to get half as much. And we feed into that. And although some of that is real, I reject that because what are we working for? Right? And how exhausted are you when you really can't even enjoy it? So we have to be powerful, purposeful, and present. Excuse me. And the only way to do that is to reclaim ourselves. And so, the 3R breakdown is rest. As I said, it's reclaiming energy, self confidence, and time. Not rest as an escape, but as a strategy, as a form of remembering ourselves, remembering who we are. In the journal, there are a lot of questions that says things like, what brings you joy? And I will tell you, because it's happened to me, we can get in such a rut where we're doing things over and over and over. We don't even realize what brings us joy anymore. Of the days turn into weeks, the weeks turn into months, and we are little robots going through the motions, and we're not really present, and we're not really enjoying things. I've been there several times in my life. The second R is resilience, not bouncing back to the old version of yourself, but rising into the version of you that has learned, that has healed, and has expanded. I resent the type of resilience where people say, oh, you're strong, she's strong, and they just continue to give you more and more and more. That's not the type of resilience I'm talking about. I'm talking about the type of resilience that says, let me pivot, let me change, let me learn, and let me do something different. And that's the kind of resilience that we will learn for ourselves, because the other doesn't make any sense, banging our head up against the wall and saying, well, it doesn't hurt as much because I've done it before. And finally, resistance. Resistance is powerful. Those of you that work out know that when you resist, you grow muscle. And resistance in this framework is resisting the things that no longer serve us, right? Of taking care of adults, worrying about everybody else's choices, saying yes to things that we don't want to do. How many times have we done things that we didn't want to do, say yes to things we should have said no to, and then we get there and we're miserable, right? We have to learn that no is a complete sentence, and we need to learn how to push back on expectations, push back on narratives that keep us tired. It's where we're going to rewrite the rules and choose a life aligned with our truth. I'm still learning. I can't say I'm an expert. I can say I'm better, but it is always a work in process. I think when you have been the person that took care of everybody and did everything for so long, two things happen. One is people around you start expecting it. So one of the things we have to do, and I'm learning too, is to reset expectations. But you can't just change your boundaries and not communicate it. There was someone that did a session and I laughed because every now and then I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And so I shifted in my head, but I hadn't communicated that to people. But the other thing is, if you ask for help, you will get it. So you have to ask for help. And then you have to realize that you don't have to do everything. That by doing everything, you're not allowing people in your life to learn how to do things. I remember I had a friend and she had just had a baby and she's like, oh, my husband put the pamper on wrong. I'm like, listen, as long as he didn't put the pamper on the baby's head, it'll be fine. You will figure it out. But if you're always correcting people, saying, no, that's not the right way, do it this way, you discourage them from participating. And then you're tired and you're frustrated because you do it all. So what is the masterclass? It's going to be 6 weeks of, we're going to get tools. We're going to do reflection prompts. We're going to have coaching conversations. And it's going to be a community of women choosing wholeness. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be soulful. And we're going to leave with a plan, not just a wish. Because we got to have a plan of timeout. I don't know if you all remember, but what really spurred this on, and I've been thinking about it for a while, and I did the journal. It's been about a year since I did the journal, but I don't remember if you know, but there was a business owner by the name of Keita, and Keita Cole is her name. And she had gone online and she posted that she was tired and she needed to rest. And the next day she died in her sleep. Now that's heavy. I don't want to be heavy, but I got to be real. Overworking yourself is heavy. And it is killing us. Your body keeps the score. Sometimes we're used to working, but your body is shutting down. Stress causes so many things that aren't healthy for us. And so we have to learn how to how to back off. It really is that serious. So if you've been feeling stretched, thin, unclear, or ready for a shift, this masterclass is for you. The world is loud, the pace is relentless, and burnout is everywhere. But we don't have to live in survival mode. We deserve a life where we're not just achieving, but aligned with our purpose. We deserve to take our cape off. So here's how it's set up. Week 1, we're going to do introductions and really talk about intentions, like why are we here? How are we experiencing life? And what are the telltale signs that we need to shift and do something different? Week 2, we're going to really focus on rest. What are some specific things we need to do to reclaim our energy, our self-confidence, and time? And it's never one size fits all. And so that's why we need to break it down, because what I do and what you do may be very different. So we really need to work on that. Week 3, we're going to talk about resilience, what that means for us, rising with strength. What have we learned now that we can do differently and share that learning with others? Week 4, it's going to be about resistance, about mastering boundaries. Week 5, it's going to be building our 3R plan, where you have a plan for rest, a plan for resilience, and a plan for resistance. And week 6, we are going to create accountability partners. We're going to talk about what we're doing. And of course, we're going to celebrate, because it's baby steps, but I think we have to celebrate. Why 6 weeks? We know it takes 21 days to create a new habit, and it'll be an opportunity for us to really learn and get to know each other. Let me show you the flyer. So this is really talking about how the sessions will go. From Burnout to Brilliance, the 3R Personal Success Masterclass. As I mentioned, week 1, introduction and intention setting. Week 2, rest. Week 3, resilience. Week 4, resistance. Week 5, building our 3R plan. And week 6, accountability and celebration. Here are the prices. For an individual, it's $5.95. Of the VIP experience, you get the masterclass along with some personal coaching. And one of the things I really want to do is this 2-for-1, where 2 people would be only $8.50, because you would enroll with a friend. If you already have your accountability partner, do it. If you have a friend who you know she's always exhausted, invest in her. What better gift to give somebody than the gift in being able to rest and find themselves? Here's a QR code. So if you scan that QR code, it will send an email that just says, I'd like more information. It's also going to, you'll be able to share your preferences as far as days of the week and time. Of my circadian rhythm is 5 a.m. And so I don't know if anybody would join me during that time. So I really would like to know what your preference is. I was looking at some dates. I think I was looking at Thursdays originally, 1/15, 1/22, January 29th, February 15th, February 12th, and February 19th. But I'm flexible depending on the people that are going to join me on this journey. We can ebb and flow. I want to create a time slot that works well for everybody. So I see some things in the comments. I'm going to go to the comments and just see if we can have some dialogue. So somebody said, how? Thanks for your transparent life shares. We do need to be flexible. Yeah, we have to learn how to be flexible. I see some other questions about why. It's critical. It is literally what has saved me at times when I was really overwhelmed, and it can save all of us. We just have to have the courage to tell ourselves the truth. I think we like to hide exhaustion, but we have to tell ourselves the truth, because if we are refreshed, we can get so much more done. So I didn't plan on being here for long, about 15 minutes, and that's what it is. Feel free to watch on the replay. You will have the QR code and you can reach out to me. But I just want us to really get healthy and think about the power of rest, resilience, and resistance. I know it can change our lives. It's changed mine, but it's something that you continually work on. I have that, like that Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder saying, that's not yours. Say no, you don't have to go there. So I'm super excited to be able to go through this journey with you all. So feel free to reach out to me and let me know how I can help. I hope everybody has a restful evening. Woosah, and just do what we need to do to be good to ourselves and to other people. I know everybody hears the thing about you can't pour from an empty cup, but that really can't be said enough. So uh, I look forward to talking more and sharing more as we get closer to the date. So don't run yourself into the ground with this Christmas shopping. Everybody will be okay. And just learn how to breathe, get some nature, and do some micro breaks. Nature does us good. All right. Have a good one. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.